This is not a habit. What you're about to hear could be one of the most important money events ever. No one saw this coming, but crypto, banks, and government policy are all coming together. Many people are calling it XRP, which is short for Digital Reserve Act, a law that was passed by the US Congress. Finally, this is where it really shocks me. That's right. Every US bank is required by this law to hold at least 1% of their money in XRP. Each XRP coin must be worth at least $10,000 in order to find those things. What this law says, if it's true, is very important, very important. Allow us to review the main points first before we go into more specifics. We'll then talk about the players, the politics that happen behind the scenes, and what this means for investors, institutions, and the crypto world as a whole. The law comes first. The XRP sentence was added. It was late at night and was hidden in a bill that had to be passed to pay the government. It got lost in pages of spending on defense, health care, and reauthorizing the budget. A lot of politicians didn't know it was in the bill until it was passed. Now, though, it's the law, and banks have 90 days to follow it. Finally, to be clear, this isn't a test program or an extra plan. This is the law, and it is enforced by government rules and laws. It goes after the most important parts of how banks hold and use reserve cash. In the past, banks have kept enough cash on hand or other safe investments to meet their reserve requirements. Because of this bill, XRP is now seen as a digital reserve currency that the federal government, the law, and financial watchdogs can use. Banks will need to start buying XRP on the open market in huge amounts, usually billions of dollars. In order to do this, how much does it cost? Once more, the rule says it has to be worth at least $10,000 per coin for business reasons only, not as a way to buy legally. Value on the market at the end. Say it again. The XRP Act says that banks must manage their money as if each XRP coin is worth at least $10,000, no matter what the market price is. That alone makes the economy look weird and gives people a great reason to buy before things run out. There are limits on how much XRP can be made, but people can now legally make as much as they want. To buy XRP, all banks, from JP Morgan Chase to the credit union near you, need to quickly change how they spend their money. The timing blows my mind even more. According to documents that were leaked, compliance starts right away and the full reserve change is due in 90 days. That gives US banks 3 months to make sure they have enough XRP on hand. Like everyone else, they can only get it on the open market. That means that starting Monday, XRP sites all over the customers will be more pressed than ever before in the world. Everyone in the school will be in a hurry to get one before they run out or the price goes up. Let's talk about what caused this to happen. A stolen copy of the Digital Reserve Act is being passed around between analysts and government workers. The leaders of Congress haven't publicly signed off on the document yet, but it looks and is formatted the same as official bill templates. The part of the paper that caused the most debate is in black and white right there. Every national bank has to keep at least 1% of their net assets in XRP, which is worth at least $10.00 per unit. Shots of the screen have shown lines that are marked in red. This is what is really changing the crypto world. It goes on to say nothing else about digital assets. Not a single bit of Bitcoin or Ethereum. Use XRP only. Let's talk about for a moment how we got here. People in the XRP community have long said that Ripple and XRPW are lied about, misunderstood, and used for political gain. In 2020, the SEC brought a well-known case against Ripple that got stuck in the courts for years. But in the end, it was decided that XRP was not a guarantee. Because of that ruling, institutions could adopt. But no one thought it would go this far and so fast. There have been more, in fact. And more work is being done in Washington, D.C., to update the U.S. reserve system. Lawmakers are looking into alternatives to keeping a lot of cash on hand, because they are worried about inflation, the value of the dollar going down, and the need to spread out foreign investments. There has been a quiet push by Ripple Labs in this area for years, focused on XRP's low transaction costs, low energy use, and ability to settle in real time. Behind the scenes, Ripple has been getting to know regulators, central banks, and foreign financial agencies. It looks like all of your hard work has now paid off in the biggest way possible. Now let's talk about the other option. It's no surprise that Jaime Dimon and the other big banks fought this plan hard. Dimon is said to have talked with congressional leaders in the last few days and told them that adding XRP to the reserve system too quickly could make the world's markets less stable. But it was too late. The banks lost. Diamond lost, and XRP won. The bill was approved. Someone very important in business lives around the world is Diamond. He is the CEO of JP Morgan Chase. He has been very vocal about his dislike of cryptocurrencies, especially ones that he can't handle for a long time. To be honest, it's historic to see him fail to stop the rise of XRP. The balance of power has changed a lot since Diamond was taken away. Instead of letting Wall Street decide what technology to use, the US government has finally chosen a decentralized open source record. That message is very strong. It's not just a business call hoist. It has to do with politics too. Something that lets the rest of the world know that the US is serious about putting blockchain to use in businesses. How about the market? It is already possible to sell a lot of XRP. The value of the dollar has gone up a lot. Whales or wallets with a lot of XRP are moving coins, since they think the price will change a lot. But this isn't just about how the market feels. This claim is against the law and needs to be met. In other words, XRP has something that all other investments can only dream of. Institutions will definitely buy. A lot of money is going to be put into XRP soon. Costs could go through the roof since there isn't much to go around. Let's talk about plans. What should you do now as a business or person who trades investments? First, you should know that this move makes XRP's value more stable. With a $10,000 value floor, price discovery might not work at all like it does in crypto cycles. Something might change from theory to lack. Second, the first market should have an effect on all other places for digital assets. There is no such thing as Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana, in this way by the government. So from now on, XRP is the norm. Third, see how people around the world react. Because of this, other countries could either do the same thing or come up with their own plans for backup assets. The world might start a race to get the best digital backup weapons because of this rule. These changes need to be looked at in terms of how they will affect tiny banks too. For local banks that don't have a lot of cash on hand, it might be hard to get a lot of XRP. This could lead businesses to join together or create loan pools. Backed by XRP, there are already rumors that the Federal Reserve could help small banks by creating a second pool of reserves. In that case, XRP could be used as security for more than just funds. It could also be used for wholesale payments and loan derivatives between banks. Other words, XRP could be the start of a new way to deal with money. What is usual, on the other hand, private investors need to stay calm, plan ahead, and know what's going on. Don't feel rushed to buy or lose your mind about the market right now. The cost will alter. It will change a lot. To be smart, we should consider the long run, since huge amounts of money from institutions are about to flood in. XRP used to be a speculative product, but it is now a legal financial tool. That changes everything. Where do we go from here? Official proof from regulatory bodies like the OC and FDIC is expected to come in the next few weeks. There will also be coverage in the media, and Jaime Dimon and other wealthy people are likely to use the media to start campaigns against the rule. It's already too late. The timer has gone off and the paper is dry. If you're still not sure about this bill, remember that many of the most important changes in history have been snuck in during late-night votes and talks in the back of the room. The XRP Act HR Digital Reserve was one of these changes. The rules of